Microsoft is a company in transition at the moment, as it faces up to the fact that desktop PCs are no longer the king when it comes to computing. In 2013, we've got tablets, laptops, convertible PCs, which are changing the face of how computing works today. Windows 8 is Microsoft's attempt to address this situation and the changing landscape of computing we have in 2013. However, PC sales are down, laptop sales are going through the roof, and Microsoft has already, 7 months in, announced its first major update to Windows 8. We're here today at Microsoft's London headquarters to talk to Robert Epstein, Senior Product Manager for Windows in the UK, about these new updates. Robert, thanks a million for joining us today on IBTimes UK. We want obviously to talk about Windows 8 and the latest update, Windows 8.1, which was announced this week officially. It'll be coming out to the public beta in June, but can you tell us briefly what are the main new features that Windows 8 users can expect in the update?
Yeah, so 8.1 is really about just in moving the vision from 8 on. There's improvements to personalization, improvements to search. There'll be improvements to a lot of the first-party apps, including the settings, so people can, really update all the settings from the PC settings tool. Some greater levels of cloud integration. Those are really sort of the key announcements so far.
It's just 7 months since Windows 8 launched, and so it's quite quickly that this update, such a major update, has come about. Was that always the plan, or has this come about because of customer feedback?
Well, it's a combination of everything. As I said, this is really the ongoing vision for Windows. Of course, we've announced some of the key features that will be in the update, but it won't be available till later on this year. So you're looking at more of an annual cadence. And I think, it's the nature of the software business so far. People expect regular updates to products. And
is this what we can expect in the future from Microsoft? So it's yearly updates to Windows?
So nothing formal to announce on that. Clearly we're doing both, looking at where we want to take the product. We recognise we're in very mobile times now. We're building an operating system that really enhances for mobility, but also taking on customer feedback regularly and ensuring we're delivering customers what they want.
I guess one of the main features that grabbed the headlines yesterday was the fact that the start button is back in some form. Is that because of customer feedback, that there was a frustration there that people weren't used to using the new Windows 8 layout and wanted something familiar, something they knew already from Windows 7 and before?
Well, I think customers who have used Windows 8 have actually found that the new start screen is a faster way of working. Particularly as they're starting to use more touch devices and tablets, it's really intuitive and it's improved people's efficiencies. I think what we're trying to do with the start button now is really ensure there's a consistent appearance. So whether people press the start button on the keyboard, on a tablet device, whether you swipe out and press the start button on the charm, or now what will be on the desktop as well, really just ensures that consistency of navigation.
Is it worrying though for Microsoft that the PC sales are dropping so fast, an area where Microsoft dominates in terms of software, whereas tablet sales are going through the roof where Microsoft is yet to dominate? Is that going to lead to a couple of years where Microsoft is going to have a negative impact on sales for the company? Well,
so far, in fact, you look at the recent stock price for Microsoft, then I think the analysts in the city are starting to see that there's great growth in the company. We continue to grow sales. Windows 8 since launch, has gone past the 100 million mark already. So these are all great numbers, and as I say, I think as we expand Windows into more form factors, more devices, there are now just a huge array of tablets that I think we'll see great growth in that as well.
In terms of the tablet market, I think one of the main things for users is they want apps. And the Windows App Store obviously is very young and compared to the iOS App Store, Android App Store. How is Microsoft trying to grow that at the moment? Is it trying to entice developers in with cross-platform with their Windows Phone 8, with possibly the Xbox platform as well? Is that how they're trying to grow the app catalogue at the moment?
Yeah, as you say, it is young, but it's grown faster than any other platform since inception. We're over 6 times the number of apps we had since launch. I think we've got a great story for developers in many ways. Certainly, as you say, that cross-platform capability, the ability for developers to probably reuse 80% plus of their code and use that to create apps across all of our platforms.
Now, again, there was up in the 8.1 update, it spoke about the fact that you'll be able to sync tabs across browsers from your phone to your desktop. That's another kind of move towards joining up Windows Phone 8 with Windows 8. Can you speak a little bit about what Microsoft's vision for that kind of cross-platform ecosystem is?
Yeah, I mean, people, as we've said, are using a lot more devices, phones, PCs, tablets, devices connected to TVs such as Xbox. And I think people want to be able to, identify themselves to any device and have all of their content available to them. So as we shift to being a devices and services company, that ecosystem play with our services at the back end, our cloud integration, is really what's going to bring that experience to life for users.
Around this room here, we see devices in every single form factor you could possibly imagine. Do you think that there's been too many form factors, that manufacturers are still trying to work out how to present Windows 8 best, that they still haven't got it perfect?
No, look, there's always innovation, and hardware development creates that innovation, whether it be in hinges, whether it be in chipsets. That we'll have future releases of Haswell from Intel later on that will enable new form factors, I'm sure. That innovation is always going to continue. Windows 8 allows people to use the types of device they want. So as you've seen around the room, those large all-in-ones with 27-inch touchscreens that are great for entertainment in the home or for even family gaming. Large 20-inch, sort of all-in-one devices that also become tablets that you can bring around the coffee table and, bore people with their slideshows.
But are they really going to do that? The massive screens that you see, they can fold flat. Do you think that's the future of computing? Do you think people are going to use that?
I think it's one of, and that's the point. There are a number of form factors, and I think some of the form factors may end up being niche, but there will be requirements for them. I think we've seen a decline clearly in the traditional, some might argue now, ugly desktop that sits under the desk and whirs away. But actually, if you're a hardcore gamer, that's still a very important form factor for you. And so I think we will continue with a variety of tablet, all-in-one, convertible, desktop, etc. And people will pick the selection that's right for them. Finally,
the Microsoft Build conference is coming up at the end of June, its annual developer conference. What can we expect to see there? Will it be more on Windows 8.1? Will we hear more about Windows Phone? What does Microsoft have in store?
Yeah, so I don't have the detailed agenda for Build, but yes, that's very much focused at the developer community and ensuring they have the tools and they can understand Microsoft's vision and roadmap for the future. There will be further to announce at Build. Obviously, the first day of the Build conference, we release the public preview of Windows 8.1, and that's when users around the world can get their hands on it and give it a try for the first time.
Okay, thanks very much, Robert.